A Eurovision legend back for more, is it? Alright then. Loreen, let's go. Hello wonderful humans of the internet, how are we? My name is Sam Scott-Thorne and I am a vocal coach based in Glasgow. Now if you'd like to meet and explore your voice a little more, you can find me on sstvocals.com. You can also find me on Patreon and various other social media platforms, and I'll put the handles down below and over there. There. I had no idea what was going to come out my mouth there, but that kind of made sense. Now, if you'd like to consider becoming a patron, you have access to things like early release of reactions, you can fast track reactions, become a reaction, there's special roles in my Discord server, and you have access to all sorts of bonus content, like my Vocal Anatomy 101 series, where I teach you how the voice works. So consider becoming a patron and help shape my channel. Okay, we are still gambling with the Eurovision videos. Hopefully they don't get blocked, because that's what seems to happen. Eurovision or YouTube collectively hates me and blocks my videos. Okay, so Loreen, now if you don't know Eurovision, Loreen is a Eurovision legend. She won with a song called Euphoria, I can't remember when, a while ago, and it's a classic. It's an absolute instant classic. It was an instant classic then, it's a classic now. I have done a reaction of Floor Jansen singing this song, Euphoria, not this song, but she's come back, and spoiler alert, I'll give you a second, spoiler alert, she won. She won with this. So, congratulations. And we're just going to go and listen to the performance that won Eurovision. How about that? This is already very like Euro dance. It's got that like synthy kind of sound, some breath noise. This is going to be good.
I don't wanna go, but baby we both know this is not a time. It's time to say goodbye.
Really aspirate sound here. So that's breath coming through the vocal folds, making an airy sound. It gives this feeling of gentleness, but it also gives a sense of like a lament almost. There's a sadness to the sound. You can go either way, but I think because of the kind of key that this song is in, it gives me a kind of a melancholic kind of vibe rather than, you know, like I'm relaxed. That could change. I don't know. I need to listen to the lyrics a bit more. Lyrics, I can't say the word. Let's keep going.
Until we meet again, 'cause this is not the end. It will come a day when we will find our way.
Good. So yeah, I think it is about missing a lover. I don't really know. I'll catch up, I promise. That lovely aspirate tone is following through here. There is a few little parts where she's kind of pulling into a more closed vocal fold phonation. So you just get a little bit of like pure clean tone. It's really handy for getting a build up, because I'm assuming it's not going to stay this way the whole time. But just adding these little kind of moments of fold closure rather than that aspirate sound gives us a little clue as to where it's going to go. I'm enjoying it.
Violins playing and the angels crying. When the stars align, then I'll be there.
Okay, that is super nasal. That is a nasal twang. That's coming from the velum. The velum basically grants access to the air coming out of our mouth or the air coming out of our nose, for want of a better term. So when she's clamping it down against her tongue, you get an kind of sound to that. That's where the tone is coming from, and then she's slightly easing off, so you can hear it all up here. It's like it's buzzing around the nose. It's a really interesting way because the actual song is creeping up in pitch, but the tone feels like it's coming down. So everything's kind of going like this, separating. which is really, really interesting. I don't know many songs where people sing it like that, where the pitch goes up and the tone kind of comes down. So I'm invested. That is a catchy chorus. I feel like I have heard this on the radio when I'm driving. When I've been driving. When I am driving. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Either that or it's just so catchy that it's already in my skull. It could be any number of things, to be honest. There's a really lovely kind of little bleated riff in the middle of there. I don't know the words, so it's like kind of like that. It just adds a little bit of like a tickle to the middle of a straight tone. It's really, really interesting. A lot of the stuff that Loreen does just catches your ears. I think that's like part of the formula, if you like, of how she does such catchy Eurovision songs. She just does little things that make your brain go like, whoa. That's a technical term. Also, that is not easy. She's kind of belting that sound, and if you try and make an ooh sound, and try and glottal stop it, it's not super easy. So I'm actually really, really impressed with this vocal. The staging is catching me off guard. Now, because I have a weird reference-based brain, all I can see is like a super glam, like beautiful version of the jackal from 13 Ghosts. Like if she had an exploded cage on her head, that's what she'd remind me of. I mean that in a really complimentary sense. I promise. Like I am not. It looks good, but that is what it's reminding me of. It's like the claws, I think, the big finger talons. Anyway. This is really interesting. She's going into a head voice and into a really aspirate kind of head voice. That's not falsetto because it doesn't have quite enough of a hooty kind of quality to it. That da, 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 da. She's bringing it into a little bit of vibrato towards the end, so I feel like that's a head voice. I could be wrong. This is the first time I've analysed the song if I've not been listening to it in the car on the radio. That's going to annoy me. I need to know whether I've heard this before. Anyway, she really juxtaposes her voice between like a bright, airy kind of sound and this really thick, kind of almost Shakira-esque, like pressed sound. I don't even know what her tongue's doing. It could be that it's bald, or like bald in the back of her mouth. That's what opera singers used to do. Some still do. Just to give this really kind of, I don't know, it's a thick sound. But it's wonderful because it gives us all of these different textures and flavours and movement. She's really good. That nasal sound is so strong. It's actually hard to keep it that nasal because your velum almost kind of wants to ping back up a little bit. I'm impressed. It's very unusual to hear in a pop song, but it's beautiful. I don't know how to explain it. It's caught my attention. She's actually adding in a tiny little closed moment with her lips. It's so subtle because that is really, really hard, especially if you're belting. It sounds really hefty. So she's adding like a little just with her lips. If you look really closely, you'll see. there's a teeny little closure point so she can add in like a kind of a sibilant or plosive sound. Very, very clever. What's going on here? Oh. Now I feel like she's done it without the plosive sound, so I can't keep up with Loreen. I can't. What I'm enjoying here though is that she's brought her chorus into the way she would sing her verses. So she's giving the super belty kind of sound the aspirate treatment. I think that's really clever as well. Again, she just knows how to keep the ear's attention. The song is very, very, very catchy. There's a little bit of a strained kind of sound. I just heard it very, very slightly. I think that's from throwing her arms around and stuff. It's not giving her a decent enough chance to anchor some of these sounds. You're getting into really like laboured vocal territory when you start belting and doing all these really long sustained notes. So I feel like all of this is maybe not freeing up the larynx as much as it could by producing like a stable framework to come from. It's almost making it like a rocky kind of boat, but she's handled it superbly. Do you know what I like most about the end of that is she's clearly thrilled to be there. Like she just oozes gratitude just from that face. That actually kind of got me a little bit here in my cold dead heart. That was fantastic. I'm not surprised at that one, really. I've yet to hear the next one, but I'm not surprised at that one because that's a really, really catchy song. I don't know much of Loreen's work apart from that and Euphoria, so if there's more, let me know and we'll go check it out. And if you like that reaction, please give it a like and a thumbs up down below. And if you want to see more from me, hit subscribe, ring the bell, and anytime I have new content, you'll be the first to know. There's somebody drilling upstairs and I hope you can't hear that. So I guess all that's left for me to say is thank you so much for joining me, and how are we going to buy this one? I'm not really sure. I almost forgot how to say the word buy, so it's not looking great, is it? So I guess all that's left for me to say is thank you so much for joining me, and if you'd only hit the like and then hit the subscribe, then it would show your love is true, and then I would love you right back too. That was sketchy. Anyway, well, that's what happens when you make up songs on the fly. Love you, bye.